Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge. Crikey, it's hot out there, isn't it? The lodge is a bit of a hot box at the moment, so I'm going to try and keep this video nice, short and sweet if I can, so I can get those double doors open and get some fresh air in here. But if I open them now, you're going to get all sorts of sound from the outside. So let's just crack on with the video and talk about the Play It Forward box. Now, if you've not heard of the Play It Forward box before, that's okay. I'm going to tell you as much about it as I can. If you have heard about it, you're probably thinking, oh, it's about time someone did this. So let me take you through what it is, where it started, and where I am in that story. So there's a channel out there called Goodwins Place, and I hope you've been to that channel. If you haven't, I'm going to stick a link below, and you should absolutely go and check out the channel. You see the cool pixel screen behind me, this thing here? That's from that channel. There's a video on there talking about what parts you need to buy and how to build it. It covers this guy does everything from pinball machines to things like that to video games and so on and so forth. So it's all sorts of cool tech stuff, retro stuff, gaming, everything. So Goodwin's Place, great channel. And the thing that he has started quite some time ago, I believe now, is the Play It Forward box. So think of your pay it forward, and the play on words there is the Play It Forward. And this is a box of retro stuff that is sent between, I guess, all content creators, YouTubers, whatever you might want to call it. I just want to say like people in the community really, but ultimately people who can put some stuff together, send it to someone who maybe is starting a collection or is wanting something for their collection, and us as other collectors can pass this stuff on and maybe get something in return from when it's our turn to get the box, however it might work. So I received the box from Retro Chef. I'm sure again you probably know who Retro Chef is. If you don't, I'll stick his channel below. He's again a huge collector, way more than me, of retro gaming everything. Has probably, I think he talks about over 5,000 games and a whole bunch of other stuff. So a huge collector of stuff in this kind of retro gaming scene. And he brought the Play It Forward box to my door. And in that was a Master System that I was really looking forward to collecting for. I've have good memories of playing the Master System when I was a kid, actually owned by my friend, and we missed a lot of school because we were playing on his Master System, and it was something that I wanted to get back into playing. So yeah, a few months ago we did do a video on it where I got the Master System from him and a bunch of games, and it was fantastic. And it was then my job to then pass it on to the next person. So I won't spoil here who I'm going to be sending it to, because at the time of recording this, they don't know they're getting it. But I am seeing them this weekend, which I guess probably does spoil it a little bit. So how I deal with that, I don't know. But anyway, the person I'm going to be passing it to is someone who's an avid collector of retro gaming. They're starting to build their own gaming room, but they've had a lot of problems. Life has thrown them a few curveballs, which has stopped them from doing some of the things they wanted to do. So I wanted to put a box together for that person to say, look, we're out there to support you, mate. We're all in it together. Here's some cool stuff that hopefully you'll like, and you'll be able to put it into your gaming room at some point. And that means that he can then build the next Play It Forward box and pass it on to the next person who is deserving of it. It's a really cool idea. I'm really glad I got to be involved with it, and in a minute I will show you the boxes behind me, what I've put into my box. Another cool little thing that happens is this book exists, this 1996 Micro Machines kind of, yeah, complete diary. There we go. It is actually a diary, but in this diary is a whole list of the people that have had the box before me. And I won't show all the messages because obviously there could be some, I mean, there's some funny ones in here, there's some slightly rude ones in here, of course, but you can go right back to see who's been using the book, who's been doing the Play It Forward, and there's all sorts of names in here. So it's really fantastic to see that this box has been moving on time and time. It has stuck with me for a few months, and that's because I wanted to actually meet the person in real life, and this will be the first time we've met. So yeah, and of course, because of all the stuff that's been going on with the person and even myself, it hasn't happened for some time, but it is happening. So anyway, I'm going to shut up, because actually what you care about is probably what I've stuck in my box. Yep, that's now a sentence. So yeah, hopefully we'll flip over to the other table, and you can see everything that's gone into my Play It Forward box. At the end of that video, I'll say goodbye, so I'll say goodbye now. Let me know what you think about what's gone into the box. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video, when it will either be me handing the box over, or even that person putting a video on their channel about going through what they received in the box. Anyway, thanks. Watch the rest of it. See you later. Bye-bye.
Right, everybody, so this is the box. This is what's going to be the Play It Forward box, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff I'm going to put in there. The way I've approached this is that I think this is stuff that someone would either like to have in their collection because I know the person, I've watched their channel, I've learned a bit about them, I'm friends with them, and so on and so forth. And this is stuff that I think also represents the Hobby Lodge, so it's kind of nice to do it in that way. So maybe future people that do the Play It Forward box will also have that kind of thought to it. So yeah, this is what I'm putting inside the box. We're going to kick off with a copy of Squad Commander on the PSP, and if anyone knows me, they know the Lodge is all about big love of the Warhammer franchise, Warhammer 40k, and we love the PSP as well. So this brings those two things together: Space Marines and all sorts of lovely, horrible monsters to fight along the way throughout the 40k universe. PSP is still a great handheld, especially if you've got the 2000 model, I think, and up, because you can output it to TV or even a capture card if you wanted to. Next up, we're going to go with Diablo. Diablo 4 is on the scene. It's hot off the press. Everyone's loving it. But Diablo 3, what a fantastic game this is. If you haven't played this and you just want to kill hordes and hordes of monsters and get amazing loot, Diablo 3 is well worth checking out. And this has both the base game and the expansion Reaper of Souls, which I think introduced the Necromancer, if I'm not wrong. Next up, some of you may know, I've started to collect the Sold Out series on the PC. And these are some of the games that I think this person may like as well, because they are also big into PC. It's a real shame that retro gaming on the PC doesn't get much love, but these is the Sold Out collection, a bit like, you know, other collections like Hit Squads and such like that. This is a series of games that all sold well and then got the budget release version. So yes, first off, the classic theme park world, the sort of next step up from the original theme park. A lot better graphics. I think you can even go on the rides, a lot more involved in the game. But yeah, you need a mouse to play this with. Of course, Grand Theft Auto 2, or Grand Theft Auto London, whatever it was called, but essentially the second game. Another classic in the series, another classic on the PC. And of course, Command & Conquer, Tiberian Sun. Lots of Command & Conquer games out there. They're all fantastic. You know, strategy, top-down strategy games. Blow your enemies up. Do all lots of fun stuff. I thought I'd also put this in there, so let's get a big RPG game in there. So this is for the 3DS, Paper Mario. My kids love all the Mario games. We have all of the Mario RPGs, and I know they just announced a new one, so maybe this will whet the person's appetite for picking up the new Mario RPG when it comes out soon. This game here, whoa, this is an amazing game. If you've not played Sleeping Dogs, then please go and play it. I think it is, I'm not going to say better than GTA 4, because I think that's about the same era, but my goodness is it close. I love the setting this is in, I love the story, I love everything about it. I've played it through several times, and I highly recommend anyone get it. So I'm putting it in the collection because I just want to know if the person has it or not. If they don't, I hope they put it in and play it, because I think this is a massively underrated and brilliant game. Okay, so some other bits and pieces. Well, it wouldn't be a Play It Forward box without some Commodore 64 homebrew. So here we go, X-Force from Cytronics on the Commodore 64, new homebrew games. This is a fast-paced, and I do mean fast-paced, shooter on the Commodore 64. In some cases, you are better to dodge than to try and take these ships on. So yeah, have to put something of homebrew in there, and there we are, X-Force from Cytronics. Next up, this person has and will have an Amiga CD32, so I thought I'd give them the one gift we should all give each other, and that is skid marks. So yeah, absolutely, it's tough letting it go, but yeah, I have other ways to play this, and I think this is a fantastic racer on the Amiga, and especially on the CD32, so a copy of skid marks is going in the box. To stay with the theme of Amiga, we have another box set here. Let me just put that down for a second, because I just need to adjust. So this is a collection again of amazing games on the Amiga. Look at what we've got here. IK Plus. I blimmin', well, everyone knows I blimmin' love IK Plus. R-Type, which is fantastic. The other two games I'm not too familiar with, Voyager and Bio Challenge, but the box alone for R-Type and IK Plus, that's enough to keep you going for some time. So I thought this would be nice, because I know the person again is loving that sort of, they are big into the sort of desktop PC, desktop Amiga, Commodore, in fact all systems, but I thought this might be a nice collection of games to get you going. Does it fit in the box? Oh, we'll have to go sideways. We'll go sideways. There we go, we're going to go sideways. Right, next up, of course, this time, again, it's from the Hobby Lodge, and the Hobby Lodge is not all about video games. There's some other stuff that goes on as well. So, board game. I thought I'd put in a nice little board game to play with the family, and this is called Rock, Paper, Wizard. Now, if you've not seen this game, it is a lot of fun. It is essentially you dueling as a wizard across the table against someone and using hand gestures to do spells. So think of rock, paper, scissors, but like several levels up. It's a really fun little game to play, especially if you've got kids or something. You know, you're throwing fireballs at each other, you're throwing all of these abilities, and you're using hand gestures to do it. It works fantastically well, and I hope they have a lot of fun playing it. Yep, Rock, Paper, Wizards. That's going in the box. To go with all the Amiga stuff, I know this person's looking at getting themselves a games room set up, so I thought, what better way to have it on display when they're set up, when that Amiga's up and running, when they're playing some of the games, but to have a nice old traditional fat mouse mat to go with your Amiga mouse. So yeah, that is going in the box. Next up, some cartridge based games. So I've made no bones about it. I was never a GoldenEye fan, so I'm going to move this on to hopefully someone who is. Maybe if they're not, it'll be in their box to the next person. But for me, I'm never going to play GoldenEye. I know people love it, and therefore I'm going to give it away to see if it does go to a home that actually likes it. Another fantastic platformer, this time on the Super Nintendo, and this is Gods. I played this to death on the Amiga. And yeah, I haven't got the chance to play it on the Super Nintendo. But I think, again, a game that should be in your Super Nintendo collection if you can have it. And I thought this would be a nice one to go in the box. So yeah, Gods on the Super Nintendo. Next up, Lemmings. Lemmings for me will always be a PC or an Amiga game. Well, especially an Amiga game. But I thought, again, to get someone's cartridge collection going, maybe put Lemmings in on the Mega Drive. Let me know your thoughts when it comes to those kind of games. Are you used to using a controller, or would you always prefer to use a mouse? And then on the Master System, this is how I got my Play It Forward box. My Play It Forward box had a Master System in it, had a bunch of games. So in a way, I'm kind of completing the circle by moving a copy of Enduro Racer into the box to see its way to the next owner. There's a bit of fluff on the bottom there. Let me get rid of that. Sometimes, you know, these things pick up a bit of fluff. But there we go, Enduro Racer going in the box. So all I've got to do now is fill out my page on the book to say thank you and send it on to the next person. And the next time you see, hopefully, this box of stuff, it will be with its owner and they will be able to do a video on it and talk about what they think of what's in this box. Hopefully, they think it's good value. Hopefully, they like the stuff in there. That's all you can really hope. So, yeah, this was great fun to do. I think the whole idea of the Play It Forward box is a fantastic idea, and I'm glad that I'm able to keep it going. Thanks very much.